When people talk about health, they usually talk about the heart, the brain, the liver, or the skin. But one body part that gets ignored again and again is the large intestine, also called the large bowel or colon. Most people only think about it when something goes wrong: constipation, bloating, pain, diarrhea, piles, inflammation, or a scary change in bowel habits. But the large intestine is doing important work every single day. It absorbs water, helps turn waste into formed stool, and works with the rectum and anus to eliminate that stool from the body. The large intestine also contains bacteria that help break down some remaining nutrients and make vitamin K. That means the large bowel is not only about getting rid of waste, it is also part of the body's wider digestive ecosystem. When that ecosystem is disturbed, people may notice gas, bloating, irregular bowel movements, urgency, or discomfort. NIDK also notes that bacteria in the large intestine break down certain undigested carbohydrates and can create gas in the process. So in this video, I want to do 3 things. First, explain the real role and function of the large intestine in simple language. Second, go through common large intestine-related diseases and disorders, including what they feel like and how they can affect everyday life. And third, look at natural ways to support bowel health using food, fiber, hydration, routine, and selected insights from ancient medical traditions while staying honest about where natural support helps and where proper medical treatment is still essential. Section 1. What the large intestine actually does. The large intestine is the final major section of the digestive tract. After the small intestine has already absorbed most nutrients, the large intestine takes over the finishing work. Its main job is to absorb more water, firm up waste, and help form stool. The waste then moves through the colon, into the rectum, and out through the anus when the body is ready. So the large intestine is not just a waste pipe, it is part of your fluid balance, stool formation, and elimination rhythm. It is also home to a huge community of microbes. NIDK explains that bacteria in the large intestine help break down remaining nutrients, and they also help make vitamin K. That means the large bowel is not only about getting rid of waste, it is also part of the body's wider digestive ecosystem. When that ecosystem is disturbed, people may notice gas, bloating, irregular bowel movements, urgency, or discomfort. NIDK also notes that bacteria in the large intestine break down certain undigested carbohydrates and can create gas in the process. Section 2. Why bowel rhythm matters. A healthy large intestine usually means stool moves through at a reasonable pace, with enough water absorbed to form stool that is easy to pass, but not so dry and hard that going to the toilet becomes painful. When this balance is off, the body often tells you quickly. You may become constipated. You may develop loose stools or diarrhea. You may feel abdominal cramping, bloating, rectal irritation, or the constant sensation that you still need to go. In other words, bowel health affects comfort, confidence, routine, and quality of life. One of the biggest foundations of bowel health is fiber plus fluid. NIDK says adults generally need about 22 to 34 grams of fiber a day, depending on age and sex, and that water and other liquids help fiber work better by softening stools and making them easier to pass. Good fiber sources listed by NIDK include whole grains, lentils, black beans, chickpeas, berries, apples with the skin on, oranges, pears, carrots, broccoli, green peas, collard greens, and nuts such as almonds, peanuts, and pecans. Section 3. Common large intestine-related disorders. Let's start with the most common one, constipation. NIDK defines constipation as a condition where you may have fewer than 3 bowel movements a week, stools that are hard, dry, or lumpy, stools that are difficult or painful to pass, or a feeling that not all stool has passed. This is one of the clearest examples of where natural support can genuinely help, especially if the constipation is linked to low fiber, poor hydration, inactivity, or routine changes. But if constipation becomes persistent, painful, or comes with bleeding, weight loss, or severe abdominal symptoms, it should not be brushed off. For constipation, the natural support is straightforward and evidence-based. Increase fiber gradually, drink enough fluids, and build more bowel-friendly foods into the diet. Helpful options include berries, apples with the skin on, pears, oranges, carrots, broccoli, green peas, collard greens, lentils, chickpeas, and unsalted nuts. Some NHS guidance also highlights fruits that contain sorbitol, such as apples, apricots, pears, plums, and prunes, because they may help make stools easier to pass. The key word is gradually. Adding too much fiber too fast can backfire and increase bloating or discomfort. The second common problem is Irritable Bowel Syndrome, or IBS. IBS is not the same as bowel inflammation or bowel cancer. NIDK describes IBS as a group of symptoms that happen together, including repeated abdominal pain and changes in bowel movements such as diarrhea, constipation, or both, without visible signs of damage in the digestive tract. NIDK also explains that IBS is part of what experts call a problem of gut-brain interaction, meaning the bowel can become more sensitive and bowel movements can become too fast, too slow, or irregular. Natural support for IBS is more personal because different foods help different people. NIDK says some people may benefit from eating more fiber, avoiding gluten, or trying a low FODMAP diet with professional guidance. NCCIH says there is some evidence that certain probiotics may help IBS symptoms, but the evidence is still not conclusive, and not all probiotics act the same way. So the honest message is this: natural support can help IBS, but it usually works best through a structured approach, not random guessing. A food and symptom diary, better meal timing, less trigger food overload, and guidance from a dietitian can matter a lot. Another common large bowel issue is diverticular disease. This involves small pouches in the wall of the colon, called diverticula. When they become inflamed, that is called diverticulitis. NIDK says research suggests that a diet low in fiber and high in red meat may increase the risk of diverticulitis, while higher fiber eating and less red meat may lower the risk. NIDK also makes an important point that many people still get wrong. Most people with diverticulosis or diverticular disease do not need to avoid nuts, seeds, or popcorn, because more recent research suggests these foods are not harmful in this condition. So what natural support makes sense here? Long term, it is usually about a fiber-rich pattern of eating. Raspberries, pears, apples with the skin, prunes, green peas, lentils, pinto beans, chickpeas, broccoli, collard greens, and other fiber-rich foods. But if someone has an acute diverticulitis flare, that is different. NIDK notes that doctors may recommend a clear liquid diet for a short time to rest the colon, then slowly add solid food back in as symptoms improve. That is not something to self-manage casually for days on end. It should be short and clinician-directed. Another major disorder that directly affects the large intestine is ulcerative colitis. NIDK defines ulcerative colitis as a chronic inflammatory bowel disease in which abnormal immune reactions cause inflammation and ulcers on the inner lining of the large intestine. Symptoms can include diarrhea, blood in the stool or rectal bleeding, abdominal cramping, urgency, mucus or pus in the stool, and tenesmus, which is the constant feeling of needing to open the bowels even when the bowel is empty. This is one area where I want to be very clear. No fruit, vegetable, nut, herb, tea, or supplement can replace proper medical treatment for ulcerative colitis. NIDK says treatment typically involves medicines to reduce inflammation and maintain remission, and in some cases, surgery is needed. On the nutrition side, NIDK says people with ulcerative colitis should still aim for a healthy, well-balanced diet, but symptoms may reduce appetite and raise the risk of poor nutrition. So natural support here is supportive, not curative. Gentle meals during sensitive periods, attention to hydration and nutrition, and identifying foods that personally worsen symptoms. Another common issue linked to the lower bowel and straining is hemorrhoids, also called piles. NHS guidance says piles can often be treated or prevented by drinking lots of fluid, eating plenty of fiber to keep stool soft, exercising regularly, reducing alcohol and caffeine if they worsen constipation, and using a warm bath to ease pain and itching. This is one more reminder that even when the problem seems local, bowel habits are often part of the cause. Hard stool and repeated straining put pressure where the body is most vulnerable. Then there is the condition people fear most, bowel cancer, also called colorectal cancer. This is where natural support matters, but not in the fake cleanse your colon way that social media loves. NHS lists warning symptoms such as blood in the stool, bleeding from the bottom, a change in bowel habits, tummy pain, bloating, unexplained weight loss, or a lump in the tummy. NIDK says average risk colorectal screening usually starts at age 45. That means the modern, intelligent approach to large bowel health is not denial. It's noticing symptoms early, getting screened when appropriate, and not assuming everything is just constipation. So, what does natural healing for the large intestine actually look like when we strip away the hype? It starts with the basics: enough fiber, enough fluids, consistent meals, movement, less ultra-processed overload, and a food pattern that supports stool quality and bowel rhythm rather than constantly irritating the gut. NIDK and NHS guidance repeatedly point back to fiber-rich foods: berries, apples with the skin, pears, oranges, prunes, carrots, broccoli, green peas, collard greens, lentils, beans, chickpeas, oats, and unsalted nuts like almonds. So if you want a practical large intestine support plate, think like this: one fruit with skin when possible, one vegetable with every main meal, beans or lentils several times a week, oats or other whole grains regularly, and a small handful of unsalted nuts as a snack. Raspberries, pears, apples, prunes, broccoli, peas, sweet potato, chickpeas, lentils, almonds, peanuts, and pecans all appear repeatedly in official high-fiber guidance. None of these foods are magic on their own, but together they create the kind of eating pattern that helps stool move more naturally through the colon. Hydration matters just as much. Fiber without enough fluid can make the bowel feel worse instead of better. NIDK says drinking water and other liquids helps fiber work better and soften stool, making it easier to pass. This is why some people eat healthy foods but still feel blocked up. The fiber went up, but the fluids did not. So real bowel support is not just more bran or more vegetables. It is fiber plus hydration plus consistency. There is also a lot of interest in probiotics and fermented foods for bowel health. The honest view from NCCIH is that probiotics may help in some conditions, including IBS and constipation, but the evidence is still mixed and not conclusive. So foods like live yogurt or fermented foods may be useful for some people, but they should be seen as possible support, not guaranteed treatment. This is especially important for people with inflammatory bowel disease or significant symptoms, because gut health trends can oversimplify serious disease. Section 5. Ancient Traditions, from Old Times to Modern Times. Long before modern gastroenterology, people already linked digestion and bowel rhythm with health. WHO notes that traditional medicine has a long history of contributing to conventional medicine, and its newer strategy pushes for evidence-based integration into health systems. That matters, because ancient systems often noticed something modern life is still rediscovering. When elimination, diet, rhythm, stress, and digestion are disturbed, the whole person can feel disturbed. In Ayurveda, digestion has long been treated as central to health, and modern reviews are now exploring whether some Ayurvedic therapies may influence the gut microbiome. In traditional Chinese medicine, modern reviews are also looking at how certain interventions may affect gut microbiota and broader gut organ connections. But the key word here is emerging. These reviews do not prove every traditional claim. They suggest that some ancient ideas about digestive balance may be worth studying more seriously in modern science. So the balanced message is this. Ancient medical traditions were often right to take bowel function seriously, but modern evidence still matters. The safest modern approach is to keep the useful principles: regular meals, plant-rich eating, respect for bowel rhythm, attention to stress, and a whole-person view of health. Then combine that with evidence-based medicine, screening, diagnosis, and proper treatment when symptoms become serious. That is where old wisdom and modern medicine can actually meet. So let's bring it all together. The large intestine absorbs water, firms up waste, helps form stool, and works with the body to eliminate waste properly. It also houses important bacteria that help with digestion and vitamin production. When it is under strain, common problems can appear: constipation, IBS, diverticular disease, ulcerative colitis, piles, and in some cases cancer or precancerous polyps. Each one is different, and each one deserves the right level of attention. And the natural support is not mysterious. It is usually the simple, repeated things people ignore: enough fiber, enough water, enough movement, less strain, less processed overload, and more consistency. It is raspberries, pears, apples with the skin, prunes, broccoli, peas, lentils, chickpeas, collard greens, oats, and unsalted nuts. It is knowing that some conditions can be supported naturally but not cured naturally. And it is knowing when symptoms like bleeding, weight loss, ongoing pain, or a major change in bowel habits need medical assessment, not wishful thinking. The large intestine may not be glamorous, but it is foundational. When your bowel rhythm is supported, your body often feels calmer, lighter, and more stable. And when something is off, paying attention early can make a real difference. That is the real lesson of natural healing. Support the body wisely, respect the warning signs, and combine ancient awareness with modern evidence.